Welcome to Workplace Psychology with Dr. Martha Greidick. I'm Dr. Martha Greidick. This podcast examines a wide variety of work-related issues through the lens of industrial and organizational psychology. And while many of the topics discussed here may be seen as intended for white-collar employees and their employers, in reality, the ideas presented here are applicable across organizations and industries. Additionally, many of the topics discussed here may be applicable outside of the workplace. I encourage you to examine what's presented here, apply what makes sense to you, and simply discard the rest. Focus and concentration at work are fairly important, but the reality is that many people have at some point found themselves at a loss, being unable to focus, unable to concentrate. And that can be difficult enough when it only happens for a short period of time and maybe only once in a while. But when it's something that happens for an extended period of time, maybe over days, weeks, or even months, then lack of focus and concentration can truly become an issue. If you find yourself in a place where you are struggling to focus, where you are struggling to concentrate at work, it may be time to address this issue head on. The first thing that I suggest here is that you identify when it is that you're struggling with focus and concentration. Are there obvious patterns? Is it something that you find to be difficult in the morning or maybe afternoons, maybe right before lunch or right after lunch, maybe after meetings? So see if there are patterns that you are able to identify in terms of when you might struggle with focus and concentration. Of course, for some, it may be something that happens throughout the entire day while at work. Could your inability to focus and concentrate be related to something fairly straightforward, such as maybe being hungry or just too much noise in your environment? It's also important to rule out any health issues as a potential contributing factor to your inability to focus and concentrate. This could be physical health issues or emotional or mental health issues, anything from things such as pain or anxiety or depression or PTSD. All of those things and so much more, of course, can contribute to your inability to focus or concentrate at work. So it's important to identify whether any of those could be a potential issue. The idea here is to identify the root of the problem and get rid of that root of the problem so that you can effectively deal with the issue of your lack of focus and concentration. What are some of the specific things that you can do to help yourself with such an issue, with the issue of not being able to concentrate or not being able to focus at work? First and foremost, get rid of all distractions. And of course, those come in many forms. Anything from noise in your environment to maybe social media as a potential distraction. And you know whether social media for you specifically is a big distraction or not. So you should be able to be honest with yourself about these kinds of things. Maybe it's things such as notifications on your phone, all those beeps that can be so distracting, or maybe it's the emails that keep popping up. See if you can identify and address any of these environmental kinds of distractions that could take away from your ability to focus and concentrate. You may need to close your door or perhaps put on some noise canceling headphones in order to have a better chance of focusing at work. That's something to consider if it's an option for your specific work environment and your specific work situation. it may be helpful to create a to-do list as a means of getting yourself organized for the day. From there, you may want to organize your tasks by categories, things that go together, the types of tasks and responsibilities that go together could be grouped together. Another thing in terms of your to-do list may be prioritizing your tasks. All of those little things can really add up to helping you to get more focused and allow you to concentrate more easily, because when you are not organized, that in itself can become a distraction. Daily goals for the workplace are always a good idea, especially when you're trying to maximize your ability to focus and concentrate. Here is where those SMART goals can come in really handy. And just as a reminder, the acronym SMART for SMART goals stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely. You may want to implement something such as the Pomodoro method or the Pomodoro approach to working. Specifically, this means working for 25 minutes without any distractions and then taking a 5-minute break. That can really allow you to give all of your time, energy, and focus onto the task at hand for a reasonable amount of time, such as 25 minutes, and then allowing yourself, your mind, your body to take a break for 5 minutes. 25 minutes is a good stretch of time to get something accomplished, to get a good chunk of something done without it being overwhelming. And of course, taking a 5-minute break is a very good idea as a way of giving some rest to your body and your mind. It's a time to stand up, maybe walk around, breathe, get some water. A good way to take a really nice little break. Something else that people often don't think about when it comes to work and things such as focus and concentration is the simple fact that you need enough sleep in order to be able to focus and concentrate effectively, whether that's at work or anywhere else. So think about how much sleep you're getting and the quality of sleep that you're getting, and not just sleep, but also rest of all sorts. So it's very important that when you consider maximizing your ability to focus and to concentrate at work, you're getting enough sleep, enough rest, and both your rest and your actual sleep are of good quality. As this episode comes to an end, let's review what was discussed. Being able to focus and concentrate at work are absolutely critical for your success at the workplace. But sometimes even the best out there have a day where they simply aren't as focused as they would like to be, and their ability to concentrate may be fleeting. While that can happen to anyone, if this is something that persists, that's when it can become a problem. It's important to be able to identify whether or not your ability to focus and concentrate at work have lessened or have become such that they're problematic for you. It's equally important to be able to identify some of the more straightforward culprits, such as perhaps being hungry or needing to get up and use the restroom, or maybe the noise or other distractions in your environment. The other important thing to consider is your health and whether there are any health issues that could be contributing to the problem. This includes both physical and mental or emotional health. Are there patterns that you're able to identify in terms of when during the day, for example, you are losing your ability to focus and concentrate? And of course, if there are obvious patterns and if you're able to identify the root of the problem, ideally we want to be able to address and fix that root of the problem, get rid of that root of the problem, fixing the issue altogether. Of course, being proactive here is key. So beyond being able to rule out the obvious and identifying root causes, you may want to do things such as getting yourself organized or implementing the Pomodoro method for your work day, or making sure that you're getting enough sleep every night. While those sound very simple, they can make a world of difference when it comes to your ability to focus and concentrate at work. The bottom line is that your ability to focus and concentrate at work can make all of the difference for your experience at the workplace. One, you can be happy and productive, and the other end of that spectrum can make time drag and tasks seem overly complicated or difficult. So it really is in your best interest to pay attention to your ability to focus and concentrate at work. As the week unfolds, I invite you to assess your own abilities to stay focused and to concentrate at work. Whether it's a rare day or occasion where you struggle with those, or whether it's something that's an ongoing problem for you, implement some of the suggestions presented in today's episode to help you improve your focus and your concentration at work. And of course, this isn't limited to your experiences at the workplace. If you're struggling with focus and concentration outside of the workplace, you can always implement these suggestions for your private life. For those of you who experience this podcast in an audio-only version, I invite you to check out my YouTube channel, Stress Free with Dr. G, where you can find the video version of the podcast. In addition to the podcast, you can also find videos that focus on stress management. So I invite you to check out Stress Free with Dr. G on YouTube. The link for that is in the description below. Thank you for joining me today. Please subscribe to this podcast. I look forward to seeing you here again next time. Until then, I wish you joy and well-being.